Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Gamehouse Happy Endings After Show. I'm Edie Sellers. We got Nick in the room, and we have a very sick goalie.
Oh, man. See how long my voice holds out.
So what happened? Do you have what Mrs. Goalie has?
No, according to the doctor, I do not. It just, first there was the medication, tired my body out, and that brought me down. And then I thought I was fine for a day, and then it just kind of hit me all over again. So it's going from chest to stomach to head, and it just keeps rotating.
Oh.
And I thought I was good yesterday. I was all excited. I was having a normal day, and I said, maybe I'll even get to play hockey tonight. And about 4 o'clock, the wall hit me, and it just brought me down again. I was like, no. It doesn't help, though, when I go into work at the rink, it's 40 degrees,
Right, exactly. When you're going from, you go from your house, which is, 60 degrees, into the outside, which is like 20 degrees, and then you're inside the rink, and it's 40 degrees, and you're constantly switching temperatures. That ain't good.
Yeah, just kind of sitting there for 4 or 5 hours in 40 degrees. I mean, I'm bundled up, and I got a heater at my feet, so it's not like I'm packed in ice or anything, but it's still, oh, my gosh.
Oh, you poor thing.
Friggin' A, man.
Oh.
I got a big March coming up, too. I got a lot of ice hockey things going on. Going to Boston Garden. I'm going down to Yale University, and I got to get better. I get 2 or 3 weeks to get my ass better.
You'll get better. 2 weeks should do it.
That's what I'm thinking. It's been 2 weeks.
Just don't push yourself. That's what Sharon did, Mrs. Goalie.
She comes home from work sick today. She's like, I feel bad the dogs are doing nothing, so I'm going to go and take them out and go somewhere. I'm like, dude, you got pneumonia.
Yeah, no, you
it's
need
like
to.
The dogs be fine. Just come home and go to bed, or just have a cup of tea and watch TV. Just don't go out in this friggin' cold. This has been the coldest winter. It was 0 again this morning when we get up.
Oh.
I mean, I know other parts of the country are worse than us. So I mean, I don't want to sit here and play the song and dance on the violin, but this has been the longest cold streak in a winter I can remember in recent history.
Yeah,
we get snow and we get cold, but our cold is like teens and 20s. And the other day, I get to the rink, it was -3. We just don't get that cold.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the thing about when you're sick and you're so sick that you start to feel better, that you start doing stuff, and then you just put yourself right back where you were. It's like, you need to lay down, get into bed, don't get up, don't do anything. Yeah. And when you start to feel better, stay down for a little while. Because if you don't, your body will stop you.
Yeah. And what's the crazy thing about what I've been dealing with is, 1 minute it's like I go out into the cold and it hits me and I can't stop coughing. The cold just affects me so badly that I'm horrible and I think I'm going to die. And then a few days later I go out in the cold and it makes me feel better. So it leads me to believe that there's not one thing going on. There's all these different things that are coming and going because I'm reacting to different weather conditions differently.
Right. Well, it makes sense that, especially if you're in one place and you get outside and your body hits that and it rallies. Your body will rally to try and keep you going, but it doesn't have the reserves to keep you feeling good. And eventually then when it crashes, you've spent all the reserves that you've saved up by just being careful with yourself and taking care of yourself.
Yeah. It's really frustrating, So the only thing I've done for video games is I managed to sign into Battlefield every day because if you're a premium member in February, every day you get a battle pack. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's only silver and bronze. It's really anything really good.
I didn't know you were a premium member.
Yeah, I did. I was all excited and even when it wasn't running good, I knew I was going to really play this game. So it's unlocking mostly skins and emblems, but every now and then you get a couple of scopes for guns that I don't have. But so I figure if I can get even 25 of the 28 battle packs, I mean at least I'll unlock a whole bunch of stuff,
right?
That I may use.
So we got Pissed in the room, we got Tor the Weege in the room, and AC Wraith.
Like an ass in the Olympics, huh?
Come on. I would be a little disappointed in the Ouijas if they didn't do well in the Winter Olympics. You wait for summer. Yeah. We'll see all your massive Norwegian
do well, and then there's number
shot
one.
putters. Yeah. Well, who's number 1 right now?
Norway.
They are? Wow. Go Ouija.
Yeah, do you know what? It's kind of funny is that you get like that all the snowboard and stuff, which is basically generated in America. That's where it all started.
Right.
And so you get all the Americans kicking ass in that, but then like you get the biathlon where you ski and then you shoot.
We were talking about that earlier. How
and
awesome
it's like
it is.
that's dominated by the European countries.
Right. We decided that we wanted to think that the Olympics should rename some of these things. Like they should name the biathlon a biathlon, and people don't understand what it is because they're like, how did they ever come up with that? And we decided that it should be called snow ninjas.
That works.
They are snow ninjas. They are running on snow, and then they lay down on the ground and they physically force their heartbeat to slow down so that they can shoot a sniper rifle, and then they run on the snow again. They're snow ninjas. What were some of the other names we came up with, Nick?
Figure skating was like, look how far I can throw this girl.
What was yes, and then there was another one that I was thinking of. Curling was sweeping and screaming.
Oh, you know what the great thing about curling is? You see the women dominate that? Because you got the first girl who throws the stone, and it's like, man, you can just picture her vacuuming under a couch. That's just how good she is, right? And then the other girls, they're mopping and sweeping like banshees going down. That's no wonder why the women dominate that.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I said that on somebody's Facebook page. There was a friend of mine. Actually, I think he listens to Game Hounds, and he put something real nice, like, oh, I love watching this curling, and I said something like that, and his girlfriend and all his girlfriends come on and pounded the shit out of me because they don't know my sense of humor. They don't know that I'm just really tongue in cheek with all that. But I was like, I go, no way. I said, you guys have the unfair advantage. You guys vacuum under couches and you guys sweep floors and mop floors. You guys just have a wicked unfair advantage over us guys. They fucking want to kill me.
What? That's so great because you're right. Like it looks like.
Shut up, Nick! God damn it!
But it looked like when you throw stone, it looks like vacuuming under a couch.
It does, doesn't it?
Like I never thought of that, but it does. It looks like that.
Go back there and get that last crumb. It's going to be a clean house. This house is clean. Oh, so it was funny years ago, back on the I want to say it was the Commodore 64.
Mm-hmm.
I had one of the funnest. It was either that or I think it was Commodore 64, and it was a Winter Olympics game, and it was a joystick obviously, and it had by the biathlon and figure skating and skiing and jumping and stuff. It was one of the most funnest games I ever played because you were like moving the joystick really quick to go up the hill, and then you go slow when you're doing the biathlon, and then you stopped. And like the longer you waited, the slower the heart rate became, and the clearer the shot. That was so fun doing that. And then just jumping off the jumps, doing different things. That was like the best Winter Olympics game.
If you could pick one Olympic sport that you would do, that you would want to do, you would want it, regardless of your physical ability. What is the one Olympic sport you would like to do?
Yes, somebody asked that on Facebook the other day. My answer would be the big jump when they go way the hell up.
The ski jump.
Yeah, I don't know. You go for distance, but I mean, you go down and you get barrel ass, and then you hit that ramp and you go way up in the air. It's like I would never ever do it, but if you're asking me what one would I love to do, all blah blah blah, that is the one that I think would be awesome.
Tor the Weed says the target at the end is called home, so you could say they are sweeping all the way home. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the listeners. They are great. We relate. Guys.
Yeah, that's actually the one I would pick too. If I could pick any Olympic sport to do, because it looked like it would be so much fun, is ski jump.
Yeah.
Nick, which one would you pick?
I'm thinking. That is a good one because, man, I like that.
Which one? What?
Ski jump.
Yeah. The other thing is, I would really like to be able to ice skate well enough so that like when they go into a spin and then they pull their arms in, their knees in, and it goes super fast. That looks like so much fun. Is.
I can't figure out how they do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind being able to do that.
Yeah, I've actually, because I've been homesick, we've actually watched a bunch of it on the TV there. And I usually don't watch it, but it is funny to watch. But it's just funny how, like, the American games, the Americans are winning, and the kind of the more international games, the other countries are winning.
Yeah, well, because they have so much more snow. I mean, they have a lot of freaking, like the Swiss and the Germans, a lot of freaking experience in snow.
Yeah, but I think it's really kind of funny too how we were actually talking to the people that rescued CJ. We bumped into them at the beach this weekend, and they're from China, and so they were talking about Russia and Sochi, and they says Sochi's a real small city. And they said they don't know how they even got the Olympics there because there's really nothing there. So they had to build everything to house everybody. And then they said, and the reason why you're seeing all these pictures of like this stuff just going up in a huff is because they're never, ever going to use it again.
No.
So if you had to build all these hotel rooms that you're going to use once, how would you build them? You know what I mean? You just throw up cardboard and, just a toilet here, a toilet there. So they were ill-prepared for these Olympics, and why they ever got it is beyond me.
Well, I don't know if you... I guess the closest you've ever had it to your place would be Lake Placid. But closest to us has been 1960 Winter Olympics was Squaw Valley. And Squaw Valley... I remember going up there when I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, mostly the 70s. And like all through the 70s, Squaw Valley was just a freaking ghost town. Yeah, there were a lot of people that go up to ski. Now it's all developed into a resort. And now it's very popular. But at the time, Squaw Valley was just like this little area, this little bowl of a canyon with a big big mountain, and it was just totally, nobody would go there. Nobody really do anything. It was kind of busy in the wintertime, but not hugely busy. It's not unusual for especially kind of out of the way winter places to build like crazy, and then it just kind of dies. At least that was the way it was in the earlier days. So, and it looks like Sochi is going to be very similar. That's the same thing, is they threw up these buildings that weren't, terribly... What should I say? They weren't really built for longevity. They were built for first time, for use, for the one use that they were built for.
A weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
So then, do they get destroyed afterwards, or do they just stay up and it turns into a ghost town?
Well, in Squaw Valley, all of that stuff stayed, but it wasn't ever developed upon even further until somebody bought it and then turned it into a resort and put in, like high-end condos and stuff like that. But in the process of putting up all these high-end condos, they leveled everything that they built in the Olympics. Like the ski, they had a ice skating rink right in the middle of the parking lot. And it was a huge fight with the neighbors because it's like, this is historic. This is where they had the Olympics. You can't tear this down. And so they were like, oh yeah, no, we need to tear this down. And all the neighbors, because there were a lot of people that lived in like little chalets up in the hills, they're like, no, you cannot tear that down. You cannot tear that down. And then all of a sudden, well, they all went to a meeting to talk about what they were going to do with that building. The developers were talking with the neighbors, and they're all in the meeting. And in the middle of the meeting, there was a fire, and it burnt the place down.
Oh.
Oops.
No oops involved. That was absolutely planned. I don't think anybody has any question. What somebody did is they burnt it down so that they could pave it over and turn it into a parking lot, which is what they did. They made it a parking lot. But all of the buildings for housing the athletes, the Olympian Village, that all got leveled and turned into condos. So really, I mean, the Olympics kind of put Squaw Valley on the map, but it wasn't until almost 40 years later that someone turned around and actually made it the promise of what it would, the promise that was made, actually realized the promise of what was going to happen from the 1960 Olympics. So, yeah. Now I think they're already talking about possibly getting it back to Squaw Valley. The Olympics
I
back
know,
in Squaw
like
Valley.
Plaza, there, all that stuff was in place, and it wasn't nearly as big as it is nowadays. I mean, I imagine that there's twice as many people, maybe 3 times as many people,
Right.
and because there's so many more events and more countries and the whole bit, you know.
I kind of want to go to Sochi, if only just to see what a fucked up mess that thing is.
Yeah, but you can't drink the water. You don't know what you're going to eat. The whole
Eventually,
the whole
they'll straighten that out.
Yeah, it's just I would be just nervous going over there, especially just different country how they do it and just throwing shit up just to get through. It's like, you see Bob Costas? See his eyes?
No, I did not see his eyes, but
yeah.
I've heard stories. How
His
what?
eyes, they're red and they're bulging and they're coming out of his head, and they basically have to take him off the air.
Yeah,
He looked bad.
got some kind of eye infection. I guess he's handing that over to somebody else is doing
I
it.
don't know, man, but you saw it's like, yeah, I ain't going to Sochi. You know what I mean?
It might come back looking like worse than what you are now.
Yeah, I know.
Says the man who can barely breathe and talk.
I know.
I don't want to go to
what's
Sochi. I might
funny?
get
So
sick.
I can actually breathe
Yeah,
pretty
so she would kill him.
Yeah, it's just my head. Freaking the wife's the one that's got the pneumonia. But she doesn't want to take it easy. She wants to go. She feels so bad that the dogs are sitting home doing nothing.
That could kill you.
I know. That's what I said. I go, dude, it's 0 degrees outside.
Yeah, no, you need to stay inside. They need
If
to
you-
go
if
get
you
a
feel the
dog
need-
walker.
You feel the need to go and walk around in the cold and get sick, go ahead. But he says, you're not going to guilt me into anything because I am sitting inside where it's nice and warm.
Yeah. Well, she pushes herself too hard. I'm sorry that both of you are sick. So did you buy Flappy Birds?
Yeah, I didn't, but I'm trying to follow all this whole thing here, and I don't know, man. It's really, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. You know,
Yeah, I think that's kind of the moral of the story. Is it's just a bunch of random shit happening. And it's like, whoa.
it's like is he, is this guy just looking for attention? Is this guy like
No, he says he pulled it because he says it's too addictive. That's the latest interview with Forbes. He said that it was just too addictive.
It's like some guy got caught up in something he wasn't expecting.
Yeah, he became a victim of his own success. That it was just too much. And now the iPhones with people are posting their iPhones that have Flappy Birds mounted on them for their bids are up to almost $100,000.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was talking to
think
Nick about
those
that.
are fake bids. I really do.
There probably are. But I think that within those fake bids, maybe not the $100,000 bids, but within those fake bids are real collectors. Because this has certainly gotten enough notoriety that it will be remembered. And if you think about those Nintendo cartridges of games that didn't sell very well, and then they got into some kind of issue, and so there were only just a handful of them available, and those cartridges sell for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. When you look at situations like that for genuine collectors, yeah, I would probably imagine there's at least a few serious collectors in there that are grabbing those iPhones because they know that not now, but 10, 15, 20 years down the line, those iPhones might actually be worth a lot more. Collectors are game collectors with a lot of money. They'll spend money on stuff like that. So I could see it.
But it just come out. It's not even a long-standing game. It's just kind of a flash in the pan. And
So was the Nintendo game. I can't remember what it is. I want to saying it was a sports game. Anybody in the chat room remember what that was or want to look it up? But
yeah, wasn't it like it was Olympics or something like that, right?
it wasn't Olympics. It wasn't licensed. It was something.
Was it decathlon or something like that?
No. Let me see if I can find it. And yeah, if you're
didn't
in the
know.
chat room, go ahead and look yourself.
Something games or something like that.
Yeah.
Sports.
Nintendo. Let's see. Rare Nintendo cartridge game. Yeah, there we go. $99,000. A rare Nintendo cartridge, and it looks. Let's see. Stop. No, I do not want to see this ad. Fuck you. Skip the ad. Fuck.
Yeah, but even then, I heard that $100,000 bid was likely fake. and that it didn't actually go through when it won.
Oh, this is the one that's the Nintendo World Championship. It's a rare promo cart that was given out to 90 winners of a special contest run back in 1991.
But $100,000 is like 50,000 more than what it sold the last time a cartridge like that went for sale. And so there's a lot of people going, yeah, that's just someone bumping up the price. Because I don't think it actually went through at $100,000.
Possibly, but I don't think it went through at $100,000. But I think it went through probably at the very least half that.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can sell games for tens of thousands of dollars, those ultra rare games. But 100,000, if you're buying Flappy Bird now for 100,000, you're not going to recoup your investment.
Nintendo World Championship is so scarce and coveted that copies regularly rake in thousands when they appear. So Nintendo World Championship is one of them. Mm-hmm. Oh, there we go. Stadium events. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, as it says, I'm reading an article from The Escapist that says, as long as this tremendous final bid holds up, this auction will claim the world record for the most expensive video game ever sold, supplanting a copy of the game Stadium Events, which sold for $75,000 in 2012. So yeah, they're $75,000 for Stadium Events. Mm-hmm. Who's to say somebody didn't bet $20,000 on an iPhone that's got Flappy Birds on it? Because
like 20,000 I can kind of see, but getting up into hundreds.
Yeah, no, I don't.
That's where it becomes scam.
If you could get $20,000 for your iPhone, would you sell it?
Fuck yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is that there's collectors out there that will have money and will drop bills on collectibles. Game collectibles, and this is a game collectible. This is the only thing. Actually, no. Even if dude puts out Flappy Birds again, or he says he absolutely won't, and I can't imagine he wouldn't. But even if he sells it to someone else and it's released by some other company, it won't be the same game. And if somebody makes a Flappy Birds-esque game,
they already have.
Oh, I'm sure they have. No question. But if somebody else puts out another Flappy Birds-esque game, it's still, this thing is worth more because it's an original. It's the original Flappy Birds. How many copies sold? Probably quite a bit.
To a certain degree. But I mean, you've seen games already on Amazon. When they get re-released digitally, the Amazon price for the original drops down. Like something like Final Fantasy Tactics used to be worth $100 new on Amazon because you just couldn't find it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it came out on PSN, the used price of that game plummeted.
Right.
And all of a sudden it wasn't worth
But those are game players, not game collectors. And that's the difference. These are people that collect games and hold on to them for 10 years and then sell them.
But access to a game is important. If you can access the game, it becomes worth less. Like Stadium Events is rare because there is no digital version of it. I think if there was like a digital download of it, it would suddenly become worth less. It's rarity, and rarity includes,
Yeah, you've got a point there.
Any copies.
So we might as well hit out some other news, right?
Yeah, I had a couple.
One second, and you might as well do the news sounder. There you go, news sounder. Blah 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 blah. News sounder. Okay, go ahead.
A couple random Xbox rumors. I read something that said Microsoft thinking of putting an e-reader in the Xbox, which seems really
weird.
Odd. Because why would you read on your TV?
Someone posted that on our Facebook page. They commented on that, and it says, of all the places that I don't read an e-reader app, the TV would be the top spot that I would not read.
Exactly.
So Xbox just keeps going. I mean, I give them A for effort.
Well, no, think of it this way. Think of it this way.
But boy, I tell you, I can't say, how often I'm going to sit down. I can't wait to sit down and read a good book. Let me put it up on my TV.
Let me alternate. Let me give you another scenario that might change your mind about it. I will play the devil's advocate. Not that I agree, but I'm going to play it. What if that e-reader was the place where you would get in-depth instructions on how to play your games? like your instruction manual that you're always complaining about. A lot of these games just dump you in without instructions or without a good tutorial, and they're too deep, and they assume that you know enough to get through it.
They have that though. If you on a PlayStation and you click on instructions, it calls up the website right on the TV.
Yeah, you don't need an app for that.
Okay.
I mean, Assassin's Creed has a full-on instruction manual in the game.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where?
Somewhere in the menu system. I don't know exactly where.
Exactly. An e-reader would coalesce all of these documents into your e-reader so you could go in there and look stuff up.
But why would you have that in a separate app? That seems weird.
No.
I guess if Microsoft wanted to like pimp their, hey, multitasking, you can run a game and have this other app.
Right,
open.
right. Or that, you go into the game, you need help. It says, would you like to open the e-reader? And bloop, it gives you a little prompt, and you go into the e-reader and you read it, and then you can pop back in.
Although you could also open the Internet Explorer and go to facts.
There's that. Dave, I know.
But yeah.
I just didn't say I was a very good devil's advocate, but I was just playing it. I just play it on TV.
Weird Xbox rumors that I guess they're working on a show. Microsoft has been talking about creating Xbox exclusive video shows, like TV shows. Mm-hmm. Apparently, one of them has the rapper Nas.
Yeah, saw that. Based on his life.
Is that what it is?
Loosely, quote unquote, loosely based on his life.
Yeah.
Which I don't know anything about his life, so
Neither do
it
I.
may or may not be interesting. If there are snow ninjas involved, I'm there.
It says loosely based on his life, so I guess he could be a ninja.
Come on, 50 Cent had his own game, loosely based on his life.
A ninja who wants to be a rapper? I could see that being an interesting show. He used to be a ninja, but now he wants to be a rapper.
Or better yet, he used to be a rapper, now he wants to be a ninja. I'm not me. No, stop recognizing me.
Or is a rapper who's suddenly inducted into a ninja because, I don't know, some ninja gives him the secret sword.
That is a 50 Cent game if I ever. That's a 50 game if I ever heard one. You're going to be a secret agent, Mr. Rockstar Rapper.
Exactly.
How more secret could you be that you can't walk down the street?
He's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of hiding in plain sight, the terrible segue. Reykjavik, Iceland. If actually we can, the Ouijas will be glad to know that their neighboring country will be erecting a monument to Eve Online in the picturesque downtown harbor of Reykjavik to honor those who have participated in establishing the massive viral universe, according to CCP's press release.
So what is the relationship to Reykjavik, Iceland with Eve?
I think CCP Games is out of Reykjavik.
Okay.
Yeah, it's their hometown.
Yeah. Okay.
The monument will stand atop a half-meter tall metal-plated concrete platform that will have the names of all the main characters of all active EVE Online players, as captured on March 1st, 2014, etched upon it. CCP will be honoring EVE players who have passed away by adding their names to the monument as well. A web-based application will assist in finding names on the monument surface. A laptop buried under the monument will serve as a time capsule with videos, messages, wishes, and more from the players and development staff.
That's cool.
It'll be unveiled on Wednesday, April 30th, a day before FanFest 2014, the annual gathering of celebrating the EVE universe held at Harpa Concert and Convention Center in downtown Reykjavik.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah. It's always interesting hearing EVE stories with Iceland because that game is kind of a big part of that country's economy.
There was a video game host of a now defunct video game podcast that tried to get me to play EVE when it first came out. And I don't want to say it was too much for me, but it just seemed like a big well that I was just going to jump into and have faith that eventually there would be ground under there. And I didn't do it.
I wanted to try it myself. The thing is, though, with MMOs, I get a little intimidated because just I don't know the learning curve, and and I don't know how far behind I'm going to be.
You're going to be behind. I mean, that's the nature of all MMOs.
And you hear all these people, these massive ships, been playing for years, and I'm going to get in this little puddle jumper and like Elroy jets and buzz around, and it's like, am I even going to have any fun? Are they just going to shoot me out of the sky? I mean, that's my thing about MMOs. I get real intimidated about jumping in this late in the game.
Well,
it's like,
in general,
possible,
in general, when you start on the very bottom rungs, you start the game, you are in kind of I don't want to call it a nursery because that sounds pedantic, but it's like a nursery area where it's a very large area, but this is far back of the front lines, and it's an area that if someone that is much larger than you that's on the opposite sides shows up into that area, everybody in the place knows it, and in some ways they might even prevent you from coming in there. Just because exactly that is they don't want a level 60 character to show up in, and it's an area that is surrounded by, at least in World of Warcraft, NPCs that are so hard to get through that you couldn't possibly get through them to get into the nursery area.
Yeah.
So that and it's a fairly large area where, you'll be a level, at least in World of Warcraft, you were like a level 10, level 9 or 10 before you showed up in the city, in the big main city where everybody is on your side, in your faction. And then you spend a lot of time just doing missions inside that city. So you never really go out of that walls into another area. So they slowly work you up through cities in your area. So you kind of fill out your area before you even go into an area where you can get attacked.
Okay.
Yeah, they make it so that you don't just show up and wipe.
Yeah, that's good.
In fact, if the GMs, if someone sees if there's a GM that sees a level 60 that has gotten into a nursery area, I'm sure they'll shut them down. They'll turn them off. Just because that's not in the spirit of the game. Now, I don't know if Eve is like that. Never played it, but might do that today. Why not? Why the heck not?
Why not? Hey, you guys, this Evolve game has been picking up a lot of steam and a lot of attention. You guys notice that?
No.
Yeah, it not only in magazines but on Twitter and just it's slowly coming together. And boy, I'm kind of getting excited.
Now this is the Evolved.
This is the one made by
Alien.
people that Left 4 Dead.
Right.
It's 4-player co-op fighting the one monster.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
And I read that it was a huge article in Game Informer. It was a long one, and I've had a lot of time to read too. But I finally. Yeah,
see, what you need is an e-reader on your screen so you can watch television and read. What the hell is with all the damn phone calls?
Bush League.
No, it's my mother-in-law. It's my mother-in-law.
But this Evolve game is everywhere. I mean, and I'm reading about it, Nick. It looked pretty cool. Because you have the different classes, and the different classes have a couple of different options as well. And then if you're the monster, you try to upgrade your monster. I guess there's 3 stages or 4 stages of the monster.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so if you like hold off the humans for one stage, you get to the second stage, you get a little tougher. But I guess the humans find things that, so everybody's kind of upgrading. And I guess the matches are like 10 to 15 minutes.
Wow,
and,
that's actually really nice and easy.
And what the guys was saying is that the most rounds get to the second or third stage, and there was a winner. So no one won the first stage, so the monster got bigger and the humans got better. Excuse me, and then there was usually a winner before the monster got to the 4th stage. But yeah, so I'm interested to see how that goes.
I'm curious when this game comes out, because I've been seeing a lot of news for it.
Fall. I thought I said fall.
Okay, so it is this year at least.
This year, just like a lot of other games, push back. But
yeah.
They're saying the end of this year, yeah. But they're really hyping it up and they're really ramping it up, and they get some some trailers out, and I just signed up on their Twitter. I think that the Twitter was actually Evolve. I don't know if it was Evolve something or just Evolve, but I started following them on Twitter, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm kind of hoping this will be a good Left 4 Dead style game. Left 4 Dead was so much fun. You can play it by yourself. You can play it with two people. You can play it with a full room.
Mm-hmm. Civ 5 is adding a. Oh, by the way, anybody sign up for the Titanfall beta?
No. Well, I guess you could if you have a PC.
Yeah, I guess so. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Does it come
game.
with free? Does Titanfall come with a free e-reader? That'd be awesome. Hey, what do you guys want to do? Play some Titanfall? No, I'm actually reading a book. What are you reading? I don't know, just some new book. Let's all read a book on the TV.
It's the novelization of Titanfall.
That'd be great. You know, what'd be even funny is like if in order to progress to the next chapter, if you had to read something. So instead of a cutscene, you have to read it.
You have to read the cutscene.
You have to answer questions.
It's like typing of the dead. You'll learn something, damn it. All right, Civilization 5, I guess, has a new mod that adds a playable Papers, Please nation into Civilization 5.
Really?
Yeah. According to Aristroika, I'm reading this out of Joystick. According to Aristroika, the bleak Papers, Please nation is now a playable world power in Sid Meier's Civilization 5 thanks to a Steam Workshop mod from Snake Eater 337. Aristroika comes to Sid Meier's Civilization 5 replete with its own unique units, buildings, custom dialogue, and music. Aristroika has its own custom border guard unit, a cheaper version of the rifleman that gets combat bonuses fighting on native soil. There's also a border checkpoint building, which adds protection from spies and produces extra gold each turn. Aristroika begins the game with its custom Glory to Aristroika trait, which increases worker production at the cost of population happiness and city growth speed. All cities also start with a free worker. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's cool. Man, I could play 5 again.
Have you played Papers, Please, Nick?
No, I haven't.
You got to play that.
I haven't played much.
I have it.
Yeah, I have it too, and I haven't played it in quite a. I think it was Burning Man, right when I was getting ready for Burning Man. I fired it up, and that was a big mistake. I might actually play a little Papers, Please today.
You know what's funny about that whole the Papers, Please, country or whatever it is? I ended up watching while I was sick this week, and I watched Dr. Zhivago.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow! I mean, you talk about a boring movie. I know it's a classic, but it was like 15 hours long, and just tears were coming out of my eyes. It was so boring. But when you're sick and you're not paying attention, it's a perfect movie. But what was funny about it and why I watched it, because it was set in the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, and it's something that I've read a lot about, and I just have an interest in. Yeah, and it was just wild that every time they go home and the state has seized your house in the name of the people. So every time they had a house, the state would seize it, and they would get a little room in their house, and there'd be like 15 other people living there with them, And then they went into the country. They went all the way out to the country, like in the middle of nowhere. They had this house in the middle of nowhere, and they seized that too. They didn't even have anybody living there. They just put a sign on it and said, "The government has seized your house." Why? But that's what they did. You know
what you should do? I challenge you in your illness. I challenge you, and I swear to God, it will keep Sharon indoors. I double dog dare you to start at season 1 of Downton Abbey and watch that.
I want to watch Banshee. I heard there's a lot of sex in it on Cinemax.
I want to see if you grow a vagina.
If I grew a vagina, I'd never leave the house.
I know. See. Try Downton Abbey. Try Downton Abbey.
I don't know. I don't know if it's manly enough.
It's not. That's why I want you to try it. Come on.
I couldn't do that.
One episode.
Yeah, go with Banshee, a Strike Back, anything from Stars like manly show.
Just have an Uwe Boll marathon.
Oh God, no. That's not manly. That's just sad.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't
It's
know.
like watching,
Uwe Boll, I have a little more respect for him than I did before after I watched Postal.
yeah, he's good when he doesn't try.
Right.
Or he's good when he knows he's making something bad and he just embraces it.
NPD has released video game sales numbers for last year. Anybody want to take a guess on how much was sold in video game sales for the year in the United States?
Oh, I think I saw the article on Facebook.
You're cutting out. I think it's your headset because I keep on hearing this snap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think your headset might be on its way out.
Nah, I think that might be because of how the cord was like rubbing against part of the chair.
Okay. Because it kept on sounding, I've been hearing it all day. It sounded like a little bit of electrical snap, like,
Yeah.
and then you would drop out for a second.
Okay.
Anybody want to take a guess? How
15
much?
billion?
How many? Stop, Nick!
What?
Okay, all right, that's your
I
guess?
guessed.
You just guessed? Okay, goalie?
18 billion and one.
Nick said 18 billion. Okay. It actually was $15.39 billion in 2013 in the US.
Some money.
New physical games earned $6.34 billion, and used games sales and rentals accounted for $1.83 billion. Full game downloads, add-on content, subscriptions, mobile and social network games generated the most cash last year, accounting for $7.22 billion.
Those are all kind of different. I'd like to know how that's split up. You know, I'd like to know what the separation is between mobile, full load games, and DLC.
That's a good question. Yeah. Let's see. And compared to 2012's earnings, total video game sales saw a 1% increase in 2013. Hardware sales were boosted by the launch of PS4 and Xbox One this past November. Again, I'm reading from Joystick. Both of which helped hardware sales post a 5% increase year over year. NPD report really only 5%? 2 new consoles and it only boosted 5%? It's very odd. NPD report concludes that 36% of players over the age of 13 played games acquired digitally, showing a rising prominence in digitally acquired games among all segments of players. Well, they've always said digital download is the future.
Yeah. Well, I think last year's the year I kind of got into Steam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, this year was the first year I actually played stuff on Steam. Nick, your connection is bad. You keep cutting out. I think it's. I can't tell if it's your connection, your internet, or your headset. He says.
How was I doing the show?
You weren't great,
Oh,
but it was survivable. But now it's actually gotten worse.
maybe it's just internet use of the neighbors have gone up.
Yeah, maybe more porn. The internet is for porn.
Yep.
State of Decay has a new expansion coming up.
I saw that. Is that going to get you back into that?
You know what? I feel bad enough that the only console I've really played this week was 360. Because I played Wolf Among Us Episode 2. And I'll talk about it here, too, is that I had the Season Pass, and yes, I got caught up in that thing with Microsoft, how it's done something so that Telltale Games Season Passes are not being recognized, so that it was trying to force me to buy it. And what Telltale did, and good on Telltale, is they went through all their Season Pass holders and sent them messages on Xbox Live with a code that would give you a free copy of Episode 2, and hopefully it'll be sorted out by Episode 3. But I got my Episode 2 of Wolf Among Us and played that through, and I got my Season 2, Episode 1 download of Walking Dead, And I did not, even though I would have bought the season pass, I did not buy the season pass simply because of the problems that Microsoft is having with the season passes. And I haven't heard anything about anybody clearing that up yet. So I'm not buying a season pass from anybody on the PlayStation, or sorry, on the Xbox, until we know that things are sorted out. I just wish they would just put that stuff out on the PlayStation 4, because I'd rather play it on the 4.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Telltale things come out everywhere. I mean,
but yeah, I did not download the State of Decay breakdown, the expansion that came out in November. Didn't do it, though I would really like to, except that, oh God, my 360 is so laboring, and I don't know if it always had this problem and I've just noticed it, or if it's becoming truly, by lack of use, starting to get old and creaky. But Jesus, it is just having such a hard time loading stuff up and making things happen. And I would reformat it or something if I could, but it is running like a dog right now. So I'm a little afraid that if I try to play it, that it's just going to burst into flames.
Yeah, mine's chugging. I turn it on. I'm going to turn it on now to play tomorrow.
Maybe it's the firmware. Maybe it's the update that they did because of the Xbox One that's causing the 360s to, especially because, do you have a 360 Slim or you have an old 360?
I have an Elite.
Yeah, I have an old Elite as well. And I think it might be because of the updates have finally just gotten so big that it's causing the Elites to just chug.
Well, you got that.
I don't know. I've got a Slim, and it's...
The iPhones are the same way. It's like they keep, the iOS 5, iOS 6. By the time the iOS 7 comes out on an older iPhone, it's junk.
Yeah. Well, Nick, you have the same problem on a Slim?
Yeah, like I've got one of the Slims, and it takes a long-ass time to load up.
It's not just a long-ass time to load up. It's when it's playing a game, like the new Telltale games. Both of them were having a hard time. Once you were in gameplay, it was fine. But in any of the cutscenes or between acts, you kind of goes to black and then it has an opening cutscene of when you're going into a new place. It would just have a really hard time catching up with itself and matching the dialogue, and the screen would go black every once in a while, and then you'd hear the dialogue, and then the screen would have to catch up with the dialogue. It would not playing well.
Any of those problems?
Yeah,
maybe it is your console.
Yeah, now once you're in gameplay, it works fine. But cutscenes, it has a real issue with, and it's just running like it's an old computer.
Game.
Huh?
There's a lot of cutscenes in that game.
There's a lot of cutscenes. Well, I mean the big cutscenes, like the beginnings and ends of stuff. Or like when it says next time on Walking Dead. Those kind of things, you'd have to just sit there and wait for a couple minutes of the screen black. And then somebody would say something, and the screen would still stay black. And then it would come on, and it would be a frozen screen. And then it would catch up and be fine.
That's awful.
Yeah. No, it's bad. And
Fine.
Yeah.
I completely underestimated
what chugging means. No, it's genuinely chugging.
Wow.
So I know that it's probably going to be an issue that eventually I'm going to have to get another 360 if I want to play some of these games that I've got, but I really don't want to do that.
I'm the same way. It's like I love playing on my PS4. I mean, I know it's all new and shiny, but I love the controller. I like how fast everything is.
Smooth.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. It's like I say, because on the Battlefield, I still have, a couple times it'll just won't get into a game, so you got to close it out and go back in. But I'm back in like 20 seconds.
Right.
So it's like close it out, start it up, and I'm in. So it as much as it sucks to do that, it's really not a long time.
Yeah, that reminds me, goalie. Talked about this on that podcast. I played Shadowfall, and you were right about that game.
Oh, about which part?
It being really confusing, like where to go and just how to move to the level. Like really confusing.
Yeah, I mean it's funny. We bitch about games being too linear. This is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Now, did you notice like the first mission, the outside mission? I thought was the one that wrecked the game because if you pushed the button, it called up where you were supposed to go, and you still couldn't see where you were supposed to go.
Yeah, like whatever the little red marker that they use to like mark your target, it's kind of hard to see in the daylight.
It's wicked hard to see.
Yeah. And then even it doesn't help much because it's kind of pointing in this area, and you're like, well, there's a river and a cliff right in front of me. So
is it in
what
front
the hell?
of me? Is it below me? Is it above me? It just, it didn't have. I think I told you, that mission, I had to have one of the, I think it was Dreamscar, walk me through it when I actually broadcasted on Twitch, and he walked me through it. And that's the only way I got through that mission. Not that I couldn't kill anybody. I just didn't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And to a point where it was, while you played it, it's like, man, you don't mind trying to figure out something a little bit here, but damn, it's a shooter. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like, the first thing, you got to go find the evidence with the pilots or whatever. Holy crap. Where was that,
Yeah, I kind of found that really quickly, and it was only because I went left when I thought I was supposed to go right, and then I ended up stumbling upon where I was supposed to go, and wow, that felt lucky.
Yeah.
I actually felt lucky to get where I was supposed to go.
Yeah, I did too. I stumbled on that. And then you come out and you got to backtrack to go do something. And is it just me, or is it seem like the graphics are great? Your guy looks great. Your gun looks great. Everything directly in front of you looks great. But 20, 30, 40 feet out gets really, I don't want to say grainy, but it's almost like peripheral vision. It's just...
I think they do kind of blur things. I think it's just for effect.
Maybe.
I really liked how the game looked.
Well, like when you play Battlefield, you can look off in the distance and things are razor sharp. And then you play this game here, and you're like, man, I someone's shooting at you. It's like, who the hell is shooting at me? Because I can't see him. So you actually got to stand there and take a couple of hits just to see who's shooting at you. And then there's sometimes when you're in a battle and you have people on your side with you. I don't know how far you got in the game, but that first mission, you're waiting to get on the ship, and you're fighting alongside of people, and you don't know who's on your side and who's not.
Yeah, I shot my teammates a couple times.
Yeah, and then you sit there and you go to shoot somebody. Oh, you're on my team, and then they shoot you. It's like, oh, I guess you're not on my team. It's like just everybody's wearing red, and everybody looks the same. You're like, okay, I'm gonna shoot the red guy. Oh, not you. Yeah, that was my frustration. Everything was just mucking my way through the mire on that. How far'd you get?
I beat it.
Really?
Yeah. I was pushed through. I told you this. I was pushed through because the story is so laughably bad. Like, I had to see what happens next.
The best part of that game is before you start playing. The whole intro and the cutscenes at the beginning, and then the whole part. I mean, I was so pumped up, and I go, "This is awesome! This is going to be a great story and a great game." And then the game starts, and it's like this, and they start you off with a gun with no ammo. This is the lamest friggin' thing I've ever seen.
I don't think it's that odd that someone starts you with a gun with no ammo. That's not unusual.
We're going to send you out into enemy territory. Now, here's a gun, and the ammo is out there.
Okay, that was kind of lame.
You got to
wait a minute. You provide me a gun, but you don't provide me.
Yeah, well,
ammo?
the ammo's down there next to the two bad guys. So send the owl down and shoot the bad guys. Call the owl back. Shoot the line. Zip down, and then you can get the ammo. Really. And then from there, I didn't know where the hell to go. It just was just one big. It was like a desert. It's like, do I go left? Do I go right? Very confusing, that game. I got to the point where I think there was one thing you had to do with a train, and I got through that mission. But boy, I played for like 10 minutes, and I'm bored to tears, and I'm confused so much. I'm like, man, this is just a waste of my gaming. It's like when you put in a movie and it's so bad after 20 minutes, you're like, something. I think I'm going to cut my losses and put in a better movie, because I have like another hour to watch TV, and I'm not going to waste it on this. That's kind of how I feel with Killzone. There's something better to play besides this, and it's just not good. I
had forgotten about the train level, but yeah, that's another good example of how it's just really confusing.
Yeah, where do you go? It's like, okay, I see I have to get on the train. Well, I can't jump there, and I can't climb there, and I can't zip up with the owl. So I don't even know how I get on the damn train. It was so confusing.
What was weird is at one point you have to jump on top of the train, but it doesn't really look like it's a thing that you're supposed to be able to jump on.
Yeah.
So when I jumped on it and I started walking along the top of the train, I thought, am I going the right way or am I kind of breaking the level?
There was a lot of that in that
yeah.
game. Yeah, and there was a couple levels that were fine. The second level when you actually were on the ship, and that was good. It was close quarters. That made a lot of sense. It's like, okay, now the game's getting good. And then it went back outside again, and it got all friggin' confusing. And then you can't hack the computers. You have to send the owl to hack it.
Yeah.
That took me like an hour. And that was Dream Scott, because he's like, oh, you know, I'm standing at the terminal. He's like, well, hack it. I can't hack it. Well, if you can't hack it, then you can't continue the game. Okay, well, I'm standing at the terminal. There's no buttons to hack. I'm hitting every button. What am I supposed to do? And then finally, he must have looked at him and said, oh, you got to send the owl over to hack the computer. You know, so you send the drone over. Great. So I'm standing here, and I can't do it. So I got to back up and hit the pad and send the owl over, and he'll hack it for me. That was stupid.
Yeah, I think I got to that point, and I figured that out on my own. And actually, it got a little bit better for me when I got the drone, the owl.
The drone's kind of neat. I do like the drone.
But at the same time, right after that was a point where I was like, oh, I'm not feeling this. This is definitely not good.
It got better and then went right back to where it was. Because I remember telling you, Edie, it gets better. And then it got where it's like it's such a roller coaster ride. It's like it never gets good. It just goes from suck to not suck so bad back to suck. You know?
Yeah.
I agree. Like I was genuinely surprised at how bad it was. I was kind of thinking, okay, it's probably better than what Goalie Needy's saying. And I was thinking, you know what, I played Killzone 2, and I thought it was a pretty good game. And then I got into this, and it just everything about it felt kind of unfinished.
And the thing is, you didn't know what you were doing, and you kind of didn't care when you did figure out what you were doing.
Yeah, because the story is so dumb.
Conversely, have you guys played any Outlast?
No, I downloaded it last night. I was going to tonight.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay, this is going to sound real stupid coming from me because I'm like the man on the show, right? I can only play about 10 minutes of this game, and I need to stop. I am really trying to get into this game. Okay, now you can sit there with all the lights on and be talking to somebody and drinking a beer and not care. Okay, and it's nothing. But you sit there at night with the lights off and you play this game, especially with like headphones on or something. The atmosphere is awesome. And I'm not even that. I heard someone said they're 2 or 3 hours into it, and I'm like, this is great because I'm maybe 20 minutes into it, maybe half hour. So I know that it's not wicked short. And I at least got another couple hours to play. It's just eerie. And it's, you know, the idea is you can't fight, you know, you got to hide. And so you're constantly like going real slow and you're looking around and you're like, and then you hear the guy breathing and that now you start breathing heavy, you know, because you're into it. And it's stupid stuff without giving anything away. One of the creepy things, I thought I was stuck. Like I was in this area and all the doors were locked. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of stuck. And I looked down a corridor and somebody ran by real quick and it freaked me the fuck out. And then I went into a room and the door closed behind me. I'm like, yeah. And then I come out and then I went back to an area and there was a door open that wasn't open. And then,
that's the worst.
And so I was, okay, so now I went in and got what I needed to get. And I'm going to a different area now. But it's just, you know, hear things. And then occasionally there's people in there that are just kind of sitting there. You don't know if they're going to like jump on you because it's an insane asylum. You don't know. And the thing is I remember my grandmother worked at that Danvers State Hospital, that famous insane asylum.
Right.
Here. Okay.
Right.
They made the movie Session 9 on. She worked there. And she would, don't ask me why, but she would bring us kids up there and drag us through there. And it was creepy. Because there was people who were so mentally unstable, you didn't know what they were going to do. And she didn't bring us into the dangerous area, but still, you know, it's unpredictable, you know? And the ones I saw were harmless, but there were some other people that were getting pretty violent, you know, and you're like, yeah, let's not go that way, you know. And so there's all these people in this place, and they're just kind of sitting there and just like staring at walls, and you're tiptoeing by them and stuff like that, you know. And it just, the whole atmosphere of this game is really, if you want to get into it, it's really good. And I've actually listened to a couple other shows, and they said the same thing, that they were shitting their pants a few times in this game.
Nice.
And yeah, so I'm looking forward to going back and playing that. But yeah, quite honestly, I play that, and I get so into it that I actually have to stop and like play Tomb Raider or something just because I'm getting too into it. So yeah, check it out, and it's free.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
free.
And it took almost an hour for it to install last night. So
Well, mine was pretty quick. Mine was 20 minutes or so.
yeah, it was 20 minutes to download. It was like 5 minutes to download, but it was 60 minutes to install. I played Don't Starve for a while.
Oh yeah, I downloaded the first day, and it took me a little while, maybe because it was just the first day.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so you can play Outlast for free on PS4, or you can play Dead Island for free on Xbox. So I mean, this goes to show you.
Hey, I know that we have Tor the Liege in the chat room, and Tor, if you're listening, you can just reply in the chat room. I'm wondering what the weather is like over there, because I know that Britain is getting nailed right now. I know that you're nowhere near Britain, but you're closer to Britain than we are. Just kind of curious what the weather's like, because
Well, Atlanta's getting killed too.
no, Britain's getting killed. 106-mile-an-hour gusts
Ugh.
in
Whoa.
Britain. Yeah. And they're already flooded because of rains. They're getting killed.
It's not like it ever rains there either.
Yeah, well, if it put it this way, if Britain is flooded, that's a fuck ton of water. They're used to water. It's, here you get 3 or 4 inches at the wrong time of year and get it too fast, and it'll flood California. But you get too much water in Britain, that's saying something.
Like getting too much snow in Antarctica.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, by the way, it's been raining. Yay, rain.
Oh, good for you.
It's been pretty much raining an entire week straight. We got 5.5 inches here where I live. We got 20 inches on top of the mountain that's just across from us.
That's a lot of rain.
Over a week, thank God. Not all at once, but over a week, which is good.
Yeah, we got another foot of snow coming tomorrow. Yahoo.
I'm
I
sorry.
heard that there's going to be like another huge storm coming in the south.
Yeah. Another huge storm. We got a storm coming in today or tomorrow to here. So I think we're going to pretty much rain up until the beginning of the year. I mean, to the beginning of the summer. For us. Because we have just so much rain held back from us. Whenever you have like a dry winter, it means it's going to be a crazy wet spring. So I think we're.
I just want to get this damn winter over with.
I know.
It was funny. Yesterday, Tuesday morning, I referee a league first thing in the morning, and a couple weeks ago, it was end of January. It was bitching. It was like 2 degrees out, and one of the guys that doesn't really say anything comes up and he goes, "So is this gonna be the coldest Tuesday morning this year? Because this is ridiculously cold." And I says, "I know we're going into February, then March. So can we just count this as the coldest one? That's going to be warmer from here, right?" And he was just saying what was on everybody's mind. Well, don't you know? This yesterday morning, was -3. I got to the rink, it was -3. So it went from like 2 degrees to -3, in a week. And I was like, well, you had to say it. You had to say this was going to be the coldest one. And now we dropped another 5 or 6 degrees. It's like you had to open your mouth. So, yeah, we're all sitting here like wondering, like, when is this cold spell going to break? I mean, we're begging for 20-degree weather.
Yeah. Back on video game news. Borderlands 2. It's going to come to the Vita in spring. Along with a slim Vita in the U.S. launch.
I don't know if I'd play that on the Vita.
How would you play that on the Vita?
I don't know. I could see it.
Those
That
games are hard
Vita's
to
pretty
play.
awesome. I wish I had more time to play it when I'm taking care of my dad. But as soon as I pull it out, invariably he needs something because he's kind of like a little kid. Like, like little kids, you'll get on the phone and then they start screaming and needing something. And he's kind of like that. If he sees you distracted, then he'll start asking for things and wanting things. So it's like I can sit there and stare at him for hours and he won't need anything. But the minute I pull out the Vita, all of a sudden, I need a pee bottle and I need to poo and that kind of stuff.
It's hard to play the shooter games on the Vita, though. I mean, Diablo would be awesome on the Vita. Different games like that. But, I mean, to try to play a shooter, I tried to play some shooter games on the Vita. I just couldn't do it. It just doesn't control well at all. It's just hard to maneuver. It's hard to shoot. It just doesn't feel like a real controller, you know. It's good for the touch games, you know, like Tetris-y style games and things like that. But so Borderlands 2 on the Vita, I mean, yeah, I would rather play it on my TV, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Ubisoft dropped their sales, dropped 35% last year.
I wonder why.
Yeah, well, I should say the fiscal year, which ended December 23rd.
Yeah, why? Is that because they delayed Watch Dogs?
Well, it says that, yeah, I would... God, I can't imagine Watch Dogs accounting for 35% of the company's sales, but they said that the console transition period was among the reasons for the company's losses in the quarter. And I'm sorry, not the year, but the quarter. And they were pointing to a back catalog sales of 53 million euros, $72 million, and a 21% contraction. So people were buying less back catalog stuff. And then the publisher also saw lower than expected sales for Rocksmith 2014. But on the upside, it shipped 10 million units of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. All in all, it expects approximately 1,000 million euros, which would be $1.36 billion, in sales for the first fiscal year 2013-2014.
That reminds me, in your weekly bad Nintendo news...
I actually had somebody saying that why are we Nintendo bashing? We are not Nintendo bashing. We are just talking about Nintendo as a supportive person who needs to tell them very hard things about how to fix their shit. I'm not making stuff up. This is not Nintendo bashing. They're the ones that are having to buy back their own stock. Anyway, so in this week in Nintendo bashing,
apparently the Wii U version of Watch Dogs has been pushed back like a month or a couple months.
The Wii U version of Watch Dogs?
Yeah.
Pushed a month? Did they say why?
I think that's probably just not their priority. They're just like, you know what?
I'd rather get it on the PS4 and the Xbox One. That makes sense.
Rather get it on the other ones because publishers are really leaving the Wii U, or I guess they're really getting hesitant about it.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it last week? The Batman Arkham Origins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the DLC's just not coming out.
Ooh.
Okay, so Jaeger says we only talk about the bad Nintendo news. In the good Nintendo news, I'm actually really excited to play Bravely Default. This new, 3DS JRPG.
Mm-hmm.
I've read enough good things about it. I might have to use a Christmas Amazon gift card to buy it.
Well, is that good news for Nintendo, or is that just good news for you?
You know what? That's probably just good news for me.
That's what I'm thinking.
Kind of good news for Nintendo, because, hey, they have a good game out. But you know what? There's just not a lot of good Nintendo news.
Yeah, there really isn't. It's a shame.
I don't even have a Nintendo anything anymore.
I really should throw up. Why am I talking about pulling out my DS when I can't even pull out my Vita? I want my life back. Twitch now has 1 million broadcasters per month.
That's cool.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
I read that didn't they account for 1% of all internet use in North America?
That would not surprise me.
Yeah.
45 million monthly viewers and an average of 13 billion minutes watched per month. Viewers watch an average of 106 minutes per person per day. Wow, that's a lot!
It is.
Wow! That's almost 2 hours. At least let's see, Spike broadcasters and viewers come from Twitch's PS4 integration, the company says. Less than 2 months after the console launched, 20% of Twitch broadcasters were PS4 owners.
Yeah, I love that. Remember when we were talking a couple years ago about On Live and how it's fun to watch other people play?
Yeah.
I love that because sometimes I just, especially lately when you're not feeling good, you just don't have an attention span. I'll get on the PS4 and like if there's nobody on, nothing happened, I'll go to the video channel and I'll just look around. I'll find a game and I'll find someone playing it and I'll sit back and I'll watch them play and I have a blast. It's kind of like watching TV, but it's better because you're actually watching somebody participate and do something. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of cool watching somebody play Battlefield or Tomb Raider or something you've played or something you're thinking about playing. I really like that, and I do that quite often. And I'm so glad that the new generation Xbox and PlayStation are doing that because it's so fun just to sit back and watch some other people play. Sometimes you learn some things too. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh wow, I'm gonna have to try that, or no, that's how this guy does it, or blah 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 blah.
Remember you were talking about on the regular show, Nick, Dungeon Keeper?
Yeah.
About how it's riddled with microtransactions?
Oh, really?
Oh, God. Yeah, apparently, like, you have to schedule. You're supposed to, I guess it's build dungeons, and then you have to, you need some resources in order to build the dungeons, but you have to wait a certain amount of time to get those resources.
Oh.
And so if you want to not wait, you have to pay. And it's like the whole thing is like every time you turn around, it's a microtransaction. Peter Molyneux, did you read about Peter Molyneux's comments about it?
Oh, I don't know exact comments, but I know he didn't have anything good to say.
No, he said he called it this is ridiculous. He said, I felt myself turning around and saying, what? This is ridiculous. I want to make a dungeon. I don't want to schedule it on my alarm clock for 6 days to come back for a block to be chipped, Molyneux told the BBC. I don't think they got it quite right. The balance between keeping it familiar to the fans that were out there, but fresh enough and understandable enough for the much bigger mobile audience. So... Yeah, if Peter Molyneux tells you you're doing something horribly, horribly wrong,
yeah,
you're doing something really horribly wrong. That's like rain in London. How much water does it need to flood London? How bad does a game have to be to make Molyneux said this is terrible?
What, are you saying Molyneux makes shitty games?
No, Molyneux does ridiculous games.
Okay. I mean, I love Fable 3, but I didn't think it was shitty.
No, but he can find silver linings on any cloud.
Okay.
He loves all new things, and he'll always find it seeing as a great experiment, social experiment. And if he's telling you this is a fucking nightmare, it's a fucking nightmare of epic proportions. So anyway, well... It's not really Tor. It's not really a pay to play. It's way. What was it? Nick was telling me that Jim Sterling.
Oh, yeah. Jim Sterling coined it free to wait. It kind of like.
Yep, it's a free to wait game. So, well, I should go. You guys, Nick, I hate to cut this short, but actually, it's not all that short. We're 73 minutes in, but I want to let Goalie go and relax. I'm really surprised you made it the whole time.
Yeah. I like I said, I feel good for a few hours and I feel bad for a day. I feel good for a few hours. I feel bad. So I just happened to just kind of get up today and like, I don't feel too bad, and then we'll see how it goes. I mean,
don't do anything. If you don't feel too bad, then just lay down and just still let your body think of it as recharge like a battery. You're only quarter charged.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of TV.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to play games. I just want to just veg out.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. Oh, today's my day to kind of... It's the first day in a while I've had to veg. Oh. But, yeah, last couple of days have been tough. Because my other job, I do this this project management for a PR company. And then I also do editing for this... By the way, if anybody ever wants to see when I talk about collectors and stuff, I edit for a website called worthpoint.com. WORTH, worthpoint.com. And it's a really cool website, and I edit all of their well, not all, but a lot of their news. They have a news page, and the news editor they're out of Atlanta, and it's one of my good friends, and he lives in Atlanta, and he went away this weekend to New Orleans. He's supposed to be back on Wednesday. Yeah, no, he's not coming back on Wednesday. He said on Monday, he's like, yeah, they've already canceled our flight, so I'm here till Thursday.
Oh boy.
So I've got a cover for the website. So I did everything as early as I possibly could, and yesterday was my crunch day, and I crunched like crazy. Today, for the first time in a couple of weeks, I can actually just veg and relax.
Nice.
I got leftover Chinese in the refrigerator. Don't even have to worry about dinner or lunch.
Yeah, we got plenty left those. You know, I've been playing like that. The Tomb Raider there on PS4. That's my go-to game.
It's $50.
Love it. I played on 360 all the way through, and it's the same game. Except it's smooth, it's pretty, it's fun, and I don't know why I never went back and played it again. I really like that. It's just jumping and climbing and trying to figure out how to get on top, and it's not that difficult. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
A couple times I thought I was lost, and I just walked around and ended up figuring it out, but it's not a frustrating thing. It's not like Killzone where you're like, okay, now what? And what do I do?
Unless you're Conan O'Brien, then it's difficult.
Oh my God, that was so funny. That was one of the best videos. Everyone should look up, what was it, Clueless Gamer?
Yeah, I think it is.
Conan O'Brien plays
Tomb Raider.
It will make your day.
Yeah. It's $60. Jaeger reminds me. Yeah, I said $50, but
did you ever play it, Edie?
No, I have yet.
Then you should totally play
I really, I just hate money. But if it's really, all right. You're right. I'm being stupid. I know it's a good game.
I mean, if you're looking for a game to play, then
I kind of am.
I got it twice. That's how good it was. I could have gone back and just played it again on Xbox. And actually, I think I traded it in. But I just love playing stuff on the PS4. I really do. And it's just nice. It's so beautiful. It's ridiculous. And I forgot about all the little things in the game you do, the collectibles and the secret dungeons you find, and I wish if Far Cry 3 came to PS4, I'd pick up that for PS4 too.
Yeah, man, they had like a Far Cry collection come out.
Oh man, but I hated the campaign so much. I like the multiplayer.
Oh no,
love the multiplayer.
Oh yeah,
taking out the what do they call those? The camps,
the towers. Yeah.
The outposts, those things?
The outposts, that's it.
Taking down the towers.
I enjoyed taking out the outpost. I enjoyed hunting animals. I really enjoyed hunting them.
Exploring the area,
but the story itself, I really didn't like.
Yeah, but it was
but it was a fun game to play.
There was a lot of fun in it.
It was so much fun, creeping along the side of the river and avoiding the enemy, and then laying in the grass, and then picking one guy off, and then picking another guy off, and
shooting a bear cage and letting it out. And
that was awesome. Watching the bear maul all the guys in there.
I don't even remember the story. I just remember just looking at this map and going everywhere.
Yeah.
And, dealing with the sharks.
Yeah.
The idols that were in the water and the idols that were in dungeons and stuff.
Yeah.
That was so good.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
You know what? If that came to PS4, it would look so good.
It would. It would. It would.
And the multiplayer was fun when we were, one of us is carrying the big crate and the other guys are protecting them. Hurry up. I'm walking as fast as I can. I'm carrying this engine over here to this thing.
And even though there was a certain sameness about how they would attack you in each of the levels, it was still fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew where they were going to be coming from. I knew how many waves they were, and still it was tough.
But yeah, they just like Hazgoli would say, it was smooth.
Yeah.
It just felt good to play.
Yep.
Yeah, it was so that everything about that game was really good. I mean, I remember hiding in a hut, and how you could see the enemies, there was a shadow of them you could see.
Mm-hmm.
So even through buildings and trees and stuff, you could see the shadow of the enemy type of thing. I remember the Gila monster coming down the hill, so I ducked into a house. and the fucking Gila monster comes all the way down the hill and comes in the front door after me. Chase me out the back door. You bastard.
And remember the
you
bug
heard
where
the
the guns
hissing.
would disappear? You'd be just standing there and you'd all have like no guns, but you'd all be hulking like you're holding the guns.
Yeah, that was hilarious too. So many fun things. You heard the little and you knew that was the Gila monster. You bastard, you. You know, or you get charged at by
No, they
some
were the Komodo dragons. That's what they were.
Oh, the Komodo dragons, yeah. Oh, you're out in the woods and you get charged by a ram or something. Like, what? I got killed by so many animals. Just
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the goddamn cassowaries. They look so harmless.
They're
Yes.
not. They'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
then you get the tigers. It's funny. The tiger goes and mauls somebody. It's awesome. And you could just jump in vehicles and take off. There was so many. The game was just so open world. And I don't even know if it was meant to be open world, but it was so open world. It was awesome.
Definitely was, because you had to just capture certain areas. And yeah. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, I'd probably buy it again. It was kind of fun.
I want to go back and actually play it again now that I've been talking about
I
it.
know, I'm just thinking the same thing, too. I think I've got it, like, right next to me. It's on the desk underneath my pile of papers here somewhere. All right, well, let's go do that. Well, I'm not going to do it, but you guys, Goalie, Nick, Goalie, take care of yourself. Please get some sleep.
Yeah.
Please make Sharon get sleep. Put her
I
in
know.
bed and don't let her out.
I know.
Lock
I know.
her in. Slide food under the door. Fruit roll-ups and shit.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what I did today? I went up to Dunkin' Donuts today, and I got the biggest coffee they had, and I got a dozen donuts. A freaking dozen. And I started taking pictures of them and sending them to people. This doesn't make me feel better. Nothing will. And they had the little donut shaped like hearts and stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I went and had a few of those. I felt so much better after. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so much better. That's how I did the show, as I had all these donuts.
Yep. All right, well, get some sleep. And Nick,
Right.
take care of yourself. Have a good day at work. And everybody in the chat room, let's close. Hold on a second. Let's close this out. You have been listening to Happy Endings, episode 41. We did record this on, what's the date today again? February 12th, 2014. It's Edie Sellers with Holy Goalie and Nick DiNicola. If you ever want to listen to a regular show, that show can be found at gamehounds.net, or you can go to our Spreaker episodes, Spreaker.com, Gamehounds. It'll be Gamehounds regular show, but you can always check it out on our website. Website is gamehounds.net. If you'd ever like to send us an email after the shows, when we're not around, on the Spreaker, go ahead and do so by going to gamehounds@gmail.com. We also have a text and voicemail line. Do you want to do it, Goalie? I can do it if your voice is given out.
304-300-9889.
Ooh, dead. It is dead. That's it. Poor sick man. We do have a Twitch page. Go ahead and look up Twitch under, I think it's, what is it, the Gamehounds, or is it Gamehounds? I think it's the Gamehounds. Go ahead and look. Yeah, Twitch. I promise I'll probably do some twitching this week. And also, don't forget that there is our Facebook page. That is curated by the Piss Boy, M. Hawk. And if you want to stay up on what's going on with news in the video game world, more than what's going on in our show, just go to facebook.com/The Gamehounds. Like it, and you will start getting updates in your feed of all the latest news as it happens. Piss Boy does a great job of finding the most important news of the day, sending it out to you so that you can stay apprised of what's going on with anything in the game world. I guess that's it. Goalie, like I said, get sleep. Take care of yourself. Nick, have a good day at work. And we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.